Okay, so today I'm gonna be drawing creepypasta characters. So yeah, I don't even know how to elaborate what the hell I'm doing, honestly. I'm doing what I'm doing and we're just hoping for the best, honest to God. Today, yeah, we're drawing creepypasta characters, I guess. We're starting off with the spread. Obviously, we're prepping it with this, it's gonna be holographic right here. Honestly, I don't even know how much of the background gonna show. Like, I didn't think that through. Okay, so we're gonna prep this page first, right? We're starting off right here. I'm going to use this piece of paper right here first, like this. Well, it's not paper, this is like cardboard from like my stickers. But we're gonna use this, and I'm thinking of using this little Sanrio paper as well, and also this Hello Kitty notebook paper. We're gonna figure it out. We're just gonna guess as we're going. I think this is the hard part about doing these things, because I'm not gonna lie, I got dollar store Elmer's glue, and I don't know if like Elmer's glue quality I don't know if it's like different depending on the place it goes to, I guess. But this Elmer's glue is complete shit. It literally pisses me off. It's like the worst thing I've ever used. Also, I'm not really entirely sure who I'm gonna draw. I just know I'm prepping this page for a creepypasta character. Thinking maybe I'm gonna draw Slender Man? Yeah, he's a little girly pop. Or like Jeff the Killer. I mean, obviously, it's not really my first time drawing a creepypasta character, but it will be like my first time in a good couple of years. I think the last time I drew him, I was in middle school, and now I'm an adult. Oh shit, no. Okay, yeah, I need to drag this upwards because I want this more up than I want it down. I had tried using this paper like initially for something else. I was trying to draw something right here and then like cut it out, but it didn't work out for me. Also, my dog is here. He really wanted to sit down with me, so if you see his head, you see his head. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to figure out how I want this to look. So pretty much this is what I do to do this like ripped paper effect. It's simple, very simple, obviously, duh. Like, I would never do something that's too much work. I'm lazy. Just put glue. Oh shit, no, I'm getting glue everywhere. I'm gonna have to clean this desk. Well, this is not my desk. I'm at my vanity right now because my desk has this little like shelf area where I physically like can't record a video on it. That's for sure. It has like this little shadow like towards the top where the shelf is, so you don't see the shelf, you see the shadow of the shelf. And high key, like I don't like the aesthetic of it. Like, I don't like how it looks, so I don't want to record videos on it, honestly. But the lighting at my desk is like 10 times better, so I had to borrow my little sister's ring light so that I can make the lighting here at my vanity good, because obviously like the lighting, I mean, there's light bulbs on the vanity, but like they're so you can look yourself in the mirror. So this is also like, I'm low-key like kind of struggling making this because I keep seeing myself in the mirror and it's high-key freaking me out. I feel like I'm recording like myself physically, like my face or whatever. Not to have an issue with like recording my face, really. It just feels more like professional or something. I don't know. This needs to like dry, so that's why it's like that. To get it like very good and flush, I use back of my glue stick and just rub it down. Obviously, I'm not really worrying about this being really good and flush and neat in here because it's gonna have like a line across it. And also right now I'm thinking of just like gluing things down. I'm not really done with this side, so like if you guys are looking at this and judging, I swear to God, by the time that you guys get to my sketchbook tour, it'll look like completely different. Matter of fact, like, who the hell knows, maybe by the time I like start drawing on here, you will see that this has gained some difference or whatever. All right, I think we should be good to like rip this. So what you do is here it has this nice ripped paper effect like this. So obviously you're ripping paper, like that's why it has the effect. Sometimes you have like little pieces where they're not fully glued down because you didn't put glue on them. Obviously you're not really entirely sure where it will rip. I mean, the glue will give it a solid line, but they'll still rip in certain places. So I'll normally use like my cutting knife. Actually, I definitely probably should have used my cutting knife. Who knows? Now technically, I know like a lot of people like don't cover the whole paper in glue or whatever, but my glue is kind of shitty. I think it's because it's from the Dollar Tree. Who knows? So like it's pretty shitty, so it doesn't like hold on. I always have to go back on pages and like re-glue. Sometimes some pages like I just don't re-glue, I just tape them down. Sometimes I feel like this takes a little bit too much focus for me. If she's crooked, we don't know her. Like, we don't know what crooked is. Yeah, okay, I think yeah, we're definitely done. We're definitely done prepping. For sure done prepping. Oh my gosh. I opened a drawer right now. I forgot I had literally, oh my god. Okay, so I'm doing a voiceover again. I struggle a lot with recording and speaking on camera, so my real-time commentary tends to be pretty minimal. I just find it hard to articulate my thoughts while also focusing on the drawing. I also stutter a lot. I mean, it's not like I'm Ed Sheeran after listening to Eminem or anything, so for now we're sticking with voiceovers until I can confidently speak live without sounding completely incoherent, which sadly, because I'm doing voiceovers, I always just do a script to accompany it. Right, so after setting up my page, I was kind of stuck on who to draw. Like, I had no idea who would fit the vibe of the page, and then even if I, you know, had a handful of characters that I knew fit the vibe of the page, I wasn't sure who I wanted to draw. In particular, I really like Eyelash Jack and Slenderman Jeff the Killer, you know, like the basic bitches pretty much. And Ben Drowned and Tiki Toby were big favorites of mine growing up. But then I remembered I've literally drawn Laughing Jack before, and honestly, like, that's exactly why I feel I needed to redraw him. It just seemed fitting, and that's what I'm doing right now today. By the way, my family and I recently moved. Our living situation wasn't great before, and we've literally went from like living in the hood to like a gated community, which is a huge change. But the downside of this change is that my recording setup is like totally different now, and honestly it's super uncomfortable. I have to like hold a selfie stick between my legs while sitting on a swivel chair, which, by the way, whenever I draw, I tend to move a lot on the swivel chair. It's just something I do. I don't like, I feel like I have no control over it, honestly. Like, I don't know how I'm capable of doing that, but that is something I do. So until I learn to either be more still on a swivel chair or come up with a better setup, I'm gonna keep struggling. You know, I cannot even count the amount of times I've dropped the selfie stick while recording. It was absolutely ridiculous. And to top it all off, my cat kept jumping on top of my drawing and just rubbing himself against the selfie stick, which would cause the selfie stick to move and just mess up how the freaking camera was angled or whatever. So then I would have to stop, move him out of the way, and then fix the selfie stick between my legs properly again. And it was just a pain in the ass. I was legitimately crashing out while working on this drawing, and I'm sure you can probably see me crashing out while working on this drawing. I'm not sure if I'm gonna cut out those parts, but if I do cut out those parts, you're just gonna hear me talking about it, I guess. Anyways, I've been in this phase where everything I try to make just turns out bad, or at least it feels bad. Like, I have all these ideas, but somehow they don't come out right. I can draw, I know I can, but nothing looks the way I want it to, and it's frustrating. I'll look at my own art and think, this doesn't even look like my art. It feels off, uncanny even. Normally, when I get like this, I just let the piece sit for a while, let it marinate before coming back to it. Jesus Christ. But lately, I haven't been doing that. I've been scrapping my art, straight up deleting files, erasing entire sketches and calling it a night. And that's not really normal for me. The last time I did something like that was in middle school. So yeah. And it's not just about the end result. The process itself doesn't feel the same anymore. I used to have moments where I just giggled to myself because I loved how something was turning out. But lately, I'm just sitting there hating every second of it. Maybe it's my mentality going into drawing. Maybe I'm letting myself stay in this phase instead of pushing through it. But either way, this is where I am right now. And honestly, it's where I've been for the past year and a half. I don't have a nice, inspiring resolution to my issue, by the way. Like, I'm not gonna say some sappy, inspiring shit about how I got my groove back. Like, it's not gonna happen. I'm still in my slump, and I don't know. That's just how it is. And I think that's okay, you know? I can be in my slump and just keep drawing anyways. No one's holding me at gunpoint, you know? Anyways, I kept messing up the line art for this piece in specific too, and even though the finished drawing isn't horrible, I ended up settling with an arm placement that looks kind of awkward. I'm not gonna lie though, I think the coloring really saved this drawing. Speaking of coloring, it's funny because I used to hate coloring, especially digitally, but now it's something I look forward to when I do it traditionally. And I think it might be because when I was younger, I had this bad habit of giving all my characters like extreme jaundice and way too much pillow shading. And I'm talking like major like fucking cringe levels of both those two things combined. So maybe that's why I'm not as fond of digital coloring. Also, while we're on the topic of digital art, I've been thinking about sharing digital speed paints in this format, coming up with something to draw, explaining my process, and just talking about whatever comes to mind. I'm not sure if that's something you guys would be interested in, but it's an idea I keep coming back to, especially after finishing the recording for this video. Like I mentioned before, this whole process was pretty stressful, so I'd love to try something that feels a bit more relaxed and enjoyable for me. I also think that doing digital speed paints could be a great way to mix things up. Like, I would love to share my digital art process along with some tips and tricks that I may have. Alright, now let's talk about the art process itself. As you probably noticed, I erased my sketch a good couple times. I've been struggling with the 3/4 view lately, which is weird because that's never been an issue for me before. Like, isn't that supposed to be one of the easiest angles for artists? It's kind of a universal go-to, but for some reason I couldn't get it right this time. And when I decided to make Laughing Jack front-facing instead, I ran into even more problems, especially with his nose. That thing was a nightmare from both angles. His nose is so pointy, and no matter how I drew it, it kept looking awkward from the 3/4 view. Switching it from a front-facing perspective didn't help much either because I had to figure out how to draw the swirl or stripes on it. And to be honest, I still don't know what's actually accurate for him. Like, is his nose swirled? Does it have stripes? I don't know. I ended up just going with stripes and hoping for the best. Then there was his mouth. I was actually looking forward to drawing his grin at first, but that excitement quickly turned into frustration, and that really threw me off because I love drawing facial expressions, especially big toothy grins. I also really like drawing my characters completely and utterly devastated. I'm sure you've seen that in my sketchbook tours. There's a lot of crying OCs in there, or just really sad looking OCs. Or for example, I really like drawing Felix's like very particular facial expression that only he has. I like how PETA kind of explained it. He has this like wet puppy look to him. He looks so abandoned, so sad. I don't want to explain it, but he looks so squishy to me whenever I draw him like that. And he's the only OC that I draw with that facial expression in particular. I just feel like it doesn't work for any other character of mine, so that's why I draw him like that so fucking often. And also, I just feel like it's accurate to him and his character. By the way, I don't know if this feels random because I'm here like talking about like drawing or whatever, I guess. Let me know if you guys would be interested in me like making a video blabbing about my OCs, because I can go on and on and on and on. I'm kind of scared to put their story out there, only because I've been tweaking their story ever since I've had them, pretty much. I just know how I want it to end, but everything in the middle is kind of like been tweaked constantly, especially with Malachi. His backstory is like always changing, mainly because, I mean, not always changing, there's some things that are set in stone for him, but like, again, just always fucking changing. So that's why I'm like scared of like putting their story out there and then letting you guys have like this whole idea of them, and then eventually like putting something out there where that's about them, and then you guys being like, this isn't what you told us, you know? But I don't know, just putting that out. Anyways, yeah, I love drawing big toothy grins. That's why Oliver and Ren are my favorite OCs to draw. They're always smiling. So the fact I struggled so much with Laughing Jack's smile really surprised me. Like, I kept tweaking it, but nothing seemed to look right. His body and outfit gave me just as much trouble. Honestly, I can't even explain what I was thinking with his pose. I was just figuring it out as I went, and as I said earlier, I ended up with a really awkward arm placement. And when it comes to his clothes, all the references I found were super dark, so it was hard to see the details. And I'm sure my crappy eyesight didn't help either. In the end, I just went with an amalgamation of what I could make out and just hoped it looked decent and accurate to him. Overall, I struggled with this entire drawing, but I never expected to. I actually went into it with a lot of confidence that I'd be able to draw Laughing Jack. My whole thought process was, well, I drew him once in middle school and I didn't struggle. I don't recall having a hard time, so obviously he wasn't that hard to draw, so I'm just gonna go and draw him. That was very clearly a lie. And I think that goes to show how you can sometimes exceed your own expectations, even in a bad way. Like, I went in thinking this would be easy, but it turned into a battle. Anyway, that's it for like the process of it. I mean, I can probably just talk about like how much I struggled, and it just essentially it would just become me complaining. I don't want you guys to just be hearing me complaining about how much I fucking hated the whole process. So I think I'm leaving it at that when it comes to the process of the art. Oh my god, hi. So I know I said I wasn't gonna like keep talking about my struggles or whatever, but I was editing and I felt like sharing this like right now just because I feel like it's important to the drawing and the drawing process, and why I was getting so frustrated during the whole process of it. It's because I also kind of struggled with his hair, but not because it was hard to draw. It was kind of easy to draw. It's just I kept messing up with the lighting of it, particularly where his hair meets his clothing. I don't know if you see throughout the drawing, but where the fur and the hair tufts like meet, because they're both like straight up black, is the same shade, I tried leaving like a little strip of white between it. And because my eyesight's so goddamn bad, I kept making the two sections of black meet in between where there was supposed to be a little white like line. So then I had to go with my white jelly roll, which by the way, I don't know who told me, I don't know what influencer told me white jelly rolls are good. They fucking suck ass. I hate white jelly rolls. Don't buy white jelly rolls. I hate them. I hate them so much. And it's not the way I use them. It's not the way I use them. It's not the way I use them. It's just the ink. I swear it's just the ink. Just thinking about it pisses me off. Just talking about white jelly rolls, it makes me so angry because I know it's not a me issue, because I bought $3 gel pens and they work better. The ink comes out of them better than these fucking jelly rolls. I just felt like putting that out there because those jelly rolls ticked me off. I thought I had something that would be like a godsend, that would help me out, make the drawing, you know, like help me fix my fuck ass mistakes. They didn't fix shit. It made it worse. Pissed me off. So yeah, on to the next goddamn topic. Jesus Christ, I'm so angry about those jelly rolls. Recording these videos always ends up making me revisit certain parts of my my past. And honestly, it's kind of embarrassing. My creepypasta phase and my Five Nights at Freddy's phase, they kind of happened around the same time. And it's so funny to think about because even though I was deep into creepypasta, I didn't even draw fan art of it. Unlike with FNAF, looking back, the peak of my creepypasta phase was in 5th grade when I genuinely believed I was a vampire. Like, honest to God, there's like no defense for what I just said right now. Like, I was just a weird ass kid. I was also super into conspiracy theories back then, and some of them, like the Mandela effect or chemtrails, like I thought were totally real. Like I legitimately believed that the government was like secretly poisoning our air or whatever, and we're like jumping timelines because, like, you know, why not? And the Hillary Clinton health cover-up, bro, that was at the time it was my Roman Empire. Like I thought she was secretly sick, and it was a huge deal to me for whatever reason. And on the chemtrail thing, I don't know why I believe there's like airplanes going around and like poisoning the air or whatever. Not airplanes, but like, yeah, just planes, planes like going around poisoning the air or whatever. And like technically that's right. Jet emissions are crazy. I don't know why I thought it was a secret government thing done on purpose or whatever because of like XYZ, when it's quite literally like probably just pollution. Like, yes, the air is being poisoned, but like through pollution, not through like some crazy government. Anyways, I was 10 years old, okay? And I even thought Area 51 was hiding aliens and doing experiments on them. And somehow in my mind, it was our job as normal US citizens to save the aliens. On top of that, I used to think I was seeing flying saucers everywhere. I'd lay in bed thinking, the aliens are coming for me. They're like coming for me, and I'm going to be the one to make aliens accepted into human society. You know, just your average fucking vampire kid thoughts, right? Like, imagine this chubby little vampire kid trying to start an alien revolution. Like, okay, work, vampire kid fighting for alien rights, let's go. Okay, like how I managed to make friends during that phase of my life, especially with kids who defend me when I was made fun of, is beyond me. Also, rolling back to the aliens, don't you guys think, like, okay, technically speaking, if like aliens do exist, which, you know, they probably don't, because you think that they, like, okay, first of all, even, like, you know, like if aliens are real or whatever and they exist, they would have to be from a different galaxy, because there's no way there's like aliens within our galaxy, like the Milky Way or whatever, right? Because there's no life within any other planet within our solar system or whatever. So therefore, like, they would have to come from a different galaxy. And if they came from a different galaxy, that means that their technology is so advanced that they can literally like inter-galaxy travel or whatever the word for that would be. Anyways, do you think they would even give us the time of day? Like, because technically speaking, we're not even at that level. They would be. Technologically speaking, we're not at their level. So like, would they even come down to see us? And if they did come down to see us, right? Like, would they in any way respect us, or would they see us as lower beings? Because I'm thinking they would definitely like probably see us as lower beings, right? And then if aliens were to actually come down, would we like start passing laws? And then like, would all the countries like come together as like human representatives of like Earth or whatever to like represent Earth to like alien society or whatever? And then would we have like, why did I want to speak Spanish right now? What's the word? I'm fighting my demons right now. What the fuck's the word? Would there be laws, right? Would there be laws in place that would like ban aliens like traveling to Earth, in the sense of like would there be like alien immigration laws set in place for Earth in specific? And then by that logic, if there's alien immigration laws for like Earth in specific, would other countries have those like different laws in place for alien immigration? So for example, if you're able to get into Earth, there's only certain countries that you're like able to go to, because you would have like to have other paperwork to go into the other countries. Like, what would be going on? I'm very interested to find out. Like, I'm very interested to know. It's just something that I'm like, just thinking about aliens again, like, it's just a thought process that hit me right now, I guess. Also, I'm pretty sure I believed in aliens because I was really into like, it's not astrology, astronomy, or I don't know, I was really into outer space in like throughout like first and third grade, like all that time in my life I was really into outer space for whatever reason. So that might be why I have like belief in alien rights. Anyways, also fun fact, in 5th grade I wrote an entire song about my mom's SUV that she sold. It was a 2003 Lincoln Navigator, and I have the weirdest memories. Well, they're not really weird memories, but like I feel like they're weird to bring up in this context, I guess. But I have like memories. I have memories of like falling asleep with my head against the window, and the rough Mexican roads making my head bump on the glass while my dad blasted Espinosa Paz. And I also threw up in that car a lot. There's something about SUVs that just makes me more car sick than I already get. Okay, so I completely went on a tangent again, but like back to creepypasta, I guess. I don't think my obsession was as unusual for a kid. I don't think my like for creepypasta was as weird as it could get for a kid, you know? I wasn't one of those kids who thought Slender Man was real. I was one of those kids who was like, nah, he can't be real. Like, creepypastas are fake. They don't exist, you know? And I was pretty proud of that. Like, thinking I was too cool for like the imaginary stuff or whatever, even though I also genuinely believed I was a vampire. So like, make that make sense. Like, I'm too cool to believe in creepypasta, but I'm not too cool to like be more self-aware enough to not genuinely believe I'm a fucking vampire. Like, oh my god. Also, funny enough, most creepypastas didn't scare me, but like Smile Dog, for whatever reason, did. That one gave me legit nightmares. I don't even remember the story now, but the image of Smile Dog still creeps me out to this day. Like, I couldn't think of Smile Dog or look at a picture of Smile Dog and I will lie awake at night. I quite literally will. There's just something about Smile Dog that just freaks me out for whatever reason. Just to wrap things up, my first and last creepypasta fan art until now was of Laughing Jack when I was in middle school during a phase where I was more into Vocaloid Nightcore than creepypasta. Which, by the way, while working on that drawing, I'm going to flash a picture of that drawing in specific so you guys can look at the drawing while I explain this. Anyways, while working on that drawing, I was bumping Story of My Life by One Direction Nightcore version. You know, cause the Nightcore version just made the song in of itself 10 times better to me back then. Even though at the time I was completely swearing off of mainstream artists like Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande, and One Direction, back then to me it was different if it was the Nightcore version. At that point in my life, I thought I was too cool for the mainstream stuff. You know, I was very obsessed with being unique. Even though it's never that serious, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being basic, if that makes sense. Anyways, middle school me was just obsessed with being original and not like the other kids. And just, you know, like, I'm so mature for my age, I'm so cool, like, shit like that, you know. Recently, I decided to rewatch the Laughing Jack video from Mr. Creepypasta that came out like 12 years ago, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm still surprised that he's still posting. Like, I think that's crazy. I don't know how often he posts, but it's not like those, like, it's not like reposts of his old content. It's quite literally like new creepypasta content that he's like still rolling out, which I think is so like absurd. I love that for him. Anyways, I think that's enough rambling for today. Thanks for listening to my weird ass nostalgia trip and my stupid ass conspiracy theories or whatever. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.